Incremental readings. So you have used SuperMemo. Now you have watched the video about the best time of the day to use SuperMemo. Then, one of the conclusions is that it's best to do shorter sessions across the day. Multiple sessions versus one long session. So what we are going to do now are more in depth the effects. What happens if you do one big session against multiple sessions? We already know it's best to do multiple, but let's see why and how. So we have the core dilemma. Should I do one big chunk of repetitions or split this in multiple shorter chunks? Like morning or evening, or more than that, like 5, 10, 12, how incremental you want to get it. So usually, splitting sessions improve learning quality. But watch for overcommitment pitfalls. There is a gray zone. There is like, hey, it's better to do it, but if you overdo it, then it's even worse. Quote, once you surpass 100 daily repetitions, like more or less to comprehend the size of what you're doing, smaller sessions often yield better attention and recall. There's actually something that we are discussing with Piotr Wozniak, that the algorithm doesn't take fatigue into account. So there are many metrics, but not the fatigue. So it's not the same thing that if I answer this question, this flashcard, when I'm fresh, it's the first or the 10th repetition I do, or it's the 110th I have done. That hey, I have been doing this for a while today, I have accumulated repetitions, my brain is more fatigued, even if I'm very good. You know what I mean? Nice. So more or less after 100 is the heuristic that, hey, you may want to split this across the day. So what are the psychological benefits? Reduce monotony. You don't have this awareness. It is very obvious. If you do a subset of only items, or your sorting criteria is very biased towards just items, that you do repetition, pa 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 pa. It's less obvious if you do more interleaving. You do some reps, and then you read a topic. Some reps, you read. You can manage this for hours. But when you concentrate repetitions, that usually will take, 15 seconds, a minute or half a minute if you reformulate a lot, then it becomes a lot of, don't want to say tedious, but monotonous. You're more aware you're doing short repetitions because they last seconds. Then, if you do more sessions, you reduce this monotony. It doesn't feel at the end of the day, oh wow, I have done 150 repetitions. It doesn't feel like that. Second, you have a fresher mind, even if you did a nap in between. So you will get more accurate recall and less frustration. Because you could take breaks, and those breaks can be active breaks. That I just do something else. Something in my Notion, to schedule what I do with my channel, or answer some emails, or in some mentions in Discord, and I go back. And perhaps because my bias is incremental reading, most of what I discuss in Discord communities or in Reddit is about incremental reading. So I stay in the meta, let's say. Then, takeaway so far. Breaking study into shorter bursts combat boredom and maintains engagement through the day. That doesn't mean boredom in the sense that I don't care about what I'm doing, unless you are just cramming for in the school system. It's because it's the lack of variety, right? I like swimming. I enjoy swimming, and I swim now almost every day I can. But it will become boring if I swim for 4 hours. You know what I mean? 4 hours straight. It will be better if I do 1 hour instead in 4 different days. Or sometimes, when I had time, morning and evening. Then, reason number 2, spacing effect. In a spaced repetition, you repeat material after a delay, and this delay enhances memory consolidation. If you split the daily repetitions, even if it's just into 2, will be the minimum to split. The final review benefits from a new spaced interval, reinforcing the information better. Incrementalism for the win, in a few words. Then, practical example. You do the main reviews in the morning, you're outstanding. Then a smaller final drill at night or subset of what is still outstanding, not necessarily a final drill. And each break acts like another space repetition rep. So even if you do it here, let's say you do the final drill. For the items you lapsed, or especially that you lapsed, and on top of that, you lapsed in the past that now they are glitches, you want to focus on the reformulation, it will have a better quality than if you do it on the single session, because you'll have to do it on the spot instead of later in the day. So try, experiment this yourself. Feel free to spend some days. Hey, let me do these hard items, tackle them later. So I will signal SuperMemo that I have forgotten them. And if I don't have the subset, I don't have the final drill activated, like I don't use the final drill, I can still search for them. With the filter, I can go to the filter, and hey, I want the lapses that the last repetition is today, so we'll put the day of today, and I will get the items I have failed today and are glitches, without being on the final drill. Quote, allowing your brain to forget slightly, then re-encounter items depends on the long-term retention. And this is also for problem solving. Sometimes, especially for coding, you insist, oh man, I don't see I know it's just one thing away. I'm very close, but I don't get it, what's missing. Then you stop. You come back after a few hours, even the same day. Oh, that was it. A lot easier, because of the break. Then reason number 3, attention and motivation boost. You're more likely to remain focused on motivation if each block is bite-sized, because the session is shorter. The same could be, let's say, one example would be if you go to the gym because you want to lose weight, but you don't enjoy the process necessarily. You only enjoy the outcome that you see more fit and with less fat. Then what do you think you will enjoy the most? Going 4 times a week, but shorter sessions? Or just, let's say, 2 days a week, but spend 2 hours straight? It will be more tedious, right? Less burnout. Splitting large workloads prevents the feeling of being chained at your desk with endless items. Yep. But hey, you're telling me this, but for instance, in Anki it's easy because I use the computer, then I sync and I use my phone. On my way back to home when commuting, I use the phone again, and I use Anki across the day, which I did in the past. But with SuperMemo, it's not that easy, right? Or I have a laptop always with me, or it will be really hard to do it. Yes, I'm aware of this. That depends on your lifestyle. Now, since I work remotely, I'm mostly at home, so I have a lot easier time to use incremental reading with SuperMemo. Then tip, stop while you still have mental energy. This leaves you eager for the next session rather than draining it. So if we go back to the exercise in the gym, don't train to failure, muscle failure. Something you could still do one other set. Because if you do it by failure, you will be sore for a few days. You won't want to engage to go to the gym because you're still sore and stuff like this. Next, potential pitfall, the overcommitment we mentioned at the beginning. Long-term feasibility. If you schedule multiple daily sessions forever, you might struggle to keep up the pace when the routine changes. Now I have a new job. Oh shit, I cannot keep it. Or now, for instance, I was not going to the gym. Now I go to the gym. That is extra time in my schedule that I cannot use incremental reading. Oh shit, I'm falling short. Or now I have been a parent and now I have to take care of the child. oh shit, what I'm doing. Second, those are examples. Then, second, example, daytime fragmentation. Too many micro sessions might disrupt other tasks or reduce efficiency if you have frequent start or stop. So let's say I take it to the extreme, that I do 28 sessions, but each session is only 4 repetitions long. I'm overdoing it. Because until I don't get to the zone, and I stay in the zone, whoop, interrupted. And the same example, let's say I want to go to the gym, in this case for cardio. I don't know, instead of doing half an hour of cardio or 25 minutes, no, just do 4 minutes and stop. Yeah, but if I do every time 4 minutes, I'm not going on to warm up. Every time I will need to warm up once again. And even if across the day I have been cycling or running 45 minutes, it's not the same thing. Because I was just starting every single time, it defeats the purpose already. The over-fragmentation defeats the purpose. It's over-fragmented. So take away, plan multiple sessions but keep them manageable so they fit into changing schedules. And actually that's what I do. Since part of my schedule, I don't even know. So today I know that, okay, tomorrow I will have a meeting at 4 p.m., at 5, and at 11 a.m. So those 3 hours are hard-coded. But perhaps during a meeting, I schedule another one, or someone books a session. Hey, now I have another meeting that I didn't know yesterday. What I do is that I adjust this. Oh, you know what? Now it's 10 a.m. Let me record a video. Yeah, I wanted to record a video, but not necessarily at what precise time. Oh, you know what? It's late. It's 8 p.m., but let me do a SuperMemo. Let me do a session. Actually, let me check this back up. Yeah, here you go. Here you have one example. That, hey, it's very close to, very late, and I did sessions here. 3 mini sessions, very close by. The other stuff, it's dummy. Because this is when I'm recording the videos, because it's a backup. But this was genuine yesterday. Because basically what I did yesterday were those slides. That's why I know it's genuine. Nice. Strategy for splitting sessions, morning and evening, and we have seen after waking up and after the nap, ideal times, 2 or 3 blocks max. In this sense that they are very, first, they are very long, like you can see it's not like this, that is very fragmented, that this just open SuperMemo, imported something and close it down, and that's it. There was not something real. You don't want like this, that pop all across the day. It doesn't become optimum. 3 or 4. But means that is scheduled. There's a big difference. Most of what you see here, especially in the past, that's not scheduled. It's whatever I have free. So hey, now I have some time during meetings, boom, and I am on the mood, and I'm not pressed with deadlines, boom, let me use SuperMemo at that time, because it's the time I can afford. So I don't prescribe. Tomorrow I will do incremental reading between 8 and 9 a.m., between 1 and 2 p.m., and after 9 p.m. That's the third session. No. Is that now I have time, now I do it. I'm on the mood. And I feel prepared. I'm not dozing off. If you know what I mean. So it's the other way around. And I don't care. Oh, it's not the best. Well, I cannot afford the best now. The optimum. But within my restrictions, it's the optimum. So customize your review blocks to your peak energy times and lifetime demands and your preferences. And I am biased here that I don't like planning at this degree. So just be aware, just check the clock, and take the decision then. Or based on the information I know about myself, now it's a good time to do it. I know I will perform well. Then, final little explanation. The purpose is to pass our exams over items you missed or found challenging. So you have a second chance, but you don't wait until this becomes scheduled and you will fail it again. So you have a second chance today to reformulate them. I know people who do this like in religion. So they have final drill, they don't do language learning, or mostly it's not the focus, and they do the final drill, but only for those items. So perhaps let's assume, I have done 80 repetitions, I have failed 14, the 14 perhaps 4 were the first repetition I failed, so the first lapse, and 10 were glitches, that I lapsed them before. So I only do a final drill of those 10, and that's it. Or I will see the 14, because the 14 are in the final drill, but those 4, I will skip them, I will rate as 4, and move on, and the other 10 I will invest time to diagnose why I lapsed that. It's because it was a genuine lapse, it's because now I have more knowledge than before, and this knowledge is creating memory interference. Oh, let me put a solution. Let me reformulate so it's more unique, or even create a secondary item, or a split if it's not atomic, and da. So even if just there are a few hours, because I did that on the morning, you still have some spacing effect. That's a different thing that if you use Anki for kind of cramming, that no, I will do a repetition, and perhaps I will lapse it. The next interval will be 1 hour, but 1 hour I will be working, so the next session will be in 4 hours. So in reality, the interval will be 4 hours, and I will do the repetition again without changing anything. And perhaps I will lapse it again, and I won't even do anything at the second repetition that day, because I'm doing like a parrot, memorizing the flashcard. I'm not going to reformulate it. That's a different scenario, if you see what I mean. That first, you will become aware that was not a good item. You struggled, it's very hard, I will need even help with AI, I will do it later. You do it later, as easy as that. But again, avoid overdoing. Final drills have to be manageable. If you spend too much time on the final drill, you're wasting your time. Diminishing returns. So the final drill should be short, focused on these troubled spots, not a second marathon. Not a second marathon. A second session. Like, imagine if it was a marathon, it was the final sprint. You repeat the final sprint, that's it. Not the entire race. Putting it all together in this video. You do shorter sessions because they increase attention, motivation, and memory consolidation. You get a spacing effect within the day, which has natural advantages. More intervals, deeper retention. You have mindful planning. So you are aware of the limitations of your real life job and attachments you may have. So it's more sustainable in the long term. You don't have to push yourself that, nope, I'm not going to do this because I'm going to do SuperMemo instead. So the takeaway is that multiple smaller sessions usually outperform one long session slog, so something we have seen in the best time of the day to the SuperMemo video, provided you remain consistent and avoid overscheduling. Because you can exceed and then go against itself. Like exercise. I can train exercise and be fit, but I can also overtrain, which goes against my health, to follow more or less the analogy across the video. Conclusion. What should you do? A split repetition time unless you do so little that can be done in one single session. Sometimes when I had multiple jobs and the MBA is, I'm just spending 10 minutes. There's no need for me to split that because it's just 10 minutes effort. Beware of overcommitting and the limits. So you're aware that what you're doing. So hey, this is suboptimal what I'm doing. This is already diminishing returns what I'm doing. or this is even going against me. I'm overdoing, overcommitting. And final thought, experiment 2 or 3 daily sessions for a while, for a few weeks, and see what happens. Do you perform worse? Go back to what you were doing. You perform better? Perhaps you want to keep that. That you don't care. So as long as it's not meaningful, that you don't have a drastic change, do whatever you want. As easy as that. So that has been most, not all, but most of the relevant stuff of the difference between multiple small sessions and one long session. When you start SuperMemo, feel free to just do one. When you're an expert, it's likely you want to do multiple. Hope this has been relevant, easy to follow, and that will be all for now. See you incrementally.